Has Steve Harvey's beef with Katt Williams changed Steve's life for worse? Apparently, it seems so, and the comedian doesn't even hide the fact this confrontation negatively impacted his life and turned many people against him. Well, stay with me until the end of this video so you won't miss any detail. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. I keep my eyes on the most discussed events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. Lives of celebrities are full of messy confrontations, and we don't always get to know what had actually happened between them. Well, Steve Harvey finally spoke about how his longtime beef with a fellow comedian Katt Williams influenced his life and turned it into a mess. Apparently, only now Steve came to realize what exactly this confrontation changed him. Well, if you don't know this story, let me rewind a tape a little and take you back to where it began, because that was certainly one of the most disagreements between comedians back then. Katt Williams has become truly famous after his role of Mike in the movie Friday After Next released in 2002, and he quickly joined the ranks of contemporary comedian titans. And you can only guess that other colleagues, especially such insecure as Steve Harvey, might have seen him as a threat to their own career. And although public's favorite king of comedy, Harvey, even praised Katt's talent and charisma while introducing him to the audience, this might have been just an act, and in fact, Steve was hiding his true feelings, but you could never guess, since Steve said to the cheering audience, "He's one of the hottest new comedians in the country, and he definitely gets my stamp of approval." After such a raving introduction, no one could ever guess that a few years after, these two comedians will become the main participants of the largest comedy beefs in years. And although both Harvey and Katt are no strangers to controversy, Williams has always been known for speaking his mind, which got him involved in several high-profile feuds. In 2008, Harvey and Williams hit the headlines with their statements. It all has began with Williams, who publicly dissed Harvey and even challenged Harvey because he didn't think of him as a king of comedy. In that video challenge, Katt Williams said, "I want to apologize for what's going to happen. But the second that you get on stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy. Water seeks its own level. You can't stop it, Playboy. It is what it is, so I hope you're ready. I hope you got a team of writers. You're gonna need about 6 or 7 of them." And then Harvey chimed in to give his side of the beef. While Katt has been accused of using the same material for 2 years, Harvey vowed that he will not recycle one old joke and has 90 minutes of new material that he will unleash on Williams. Williams then said that infamous New Year's Eve show with Steve should have been done without him, and his name was included only to sell more tickets. As Katt said, "I was only supposed to come in and help sell tickets." Then he flipped it and made it into something he shouldn't have made. Well, Steve Harvey had his own version of this story, and apparently he decided to pretend that having a battle with Katt was beyond his level because he was pronounced the king of comedy, and his career was going up with a speed of light. So Steve answered in his habitual disrespectful manner and stated, "I've always been cool with Katt." He said in an interview that back in late, "I didn't know who he was. I mean, understand, I didn't know who he was. I mean, understand, I didn't know who he was when I was on the radio in law. He hadn't been in any movies or anything, and the brother was just not that known. He was talking about me in the clubs, and I just asked on the radio, whoever Katt Williams is, to call me." It's some kind of news that Steve Harvey may be quite disrespectful toward people, and I already made a video about his feud with other celebs and even ordinary people. And apparently, Katt had felt this toxic side in Harvey back then, and the only thing he wanted is to show Steve his place and teach him to respect other comedians. But it seems like no one can teach the king of comedy what to say and what to think. And even though Steve mentioned that everything with Katt was settled down and they even ended this feud on friendly terms, this could have been the first outburst of Steve's true nature coming through his public image. Well, we all know Steve Harvey as a great person, a family man, and a relationship guru. Apparently, he has always wanted to create such an image for himself. That's why, when it came to the confrontation with Katt Williams, he added, "He called me. We straightened it out. We became friends. We've been cool ever since." So I thought, as Katt stated, Steve had no intention to befriend him before because the crown of the king of comedy prevented Steve from even talking to known-enemies like him. And it seems like Steve didn't like Katt's reaction to his grand gesture and so-called friendship. Well, despite the perfect and strong image, many fans believe that they can see thorough Steve and his double-facedness. As one person wrote, "First of all, he needs a wake-up call. The only reason the Kings of Comedy tour kept selling tickets so high is because people came to see Bernie Mac, not no damn Steve Harvey." And another person added, "I've never forgotten those 'don't speak to me' emails Steve Harvey sent out to his staff." While Steve's reputation among his colleagues and fans was slowly crumbling, he didn't see anything bad coming to him. Well, if you have money, influence, and when you're a crowned king of comedy, you probably start to be full of yourself and may say diminishing things about people. Or I guess this works only for Steve Harvey. And apparently, he starts to realize that his beef with Katt was a mistake that stained his image and gave a start to a series of hateful comments toward the comedian and his family. But it's only now Steve is coming to the realization that he could have been less arrogant when he took a few jabs at Williams, saying things like, "A dog don't bark at parked cars. A dog only barks at cars that are moving and going somewhere." Certainly, Steve imagined himself a luxury Mustang going full speed to the new heights of his career and compared Williams to a dog who was barking at him out of envy and jealousy. Harvey later questioned Williams' originality, saying that it's low for a comedian to use the same material for the performances, and he himself, despite many years of being on stage, never said the same joke twice. However, Steve quickly came to his senses and remembered about the role he had to play and tried a more noble approach when discussing his feud with Katt. And it seems like there was no feud at all if you ask Steve. As Harvey explained, that alleged battle that never took place was only Katt's intention to draw more attention to his persona and making name on Steve's fame.
Want to start because you want to make a name for yourself. That's cool.
And as for Steve himself, he reminded people that such cheap promoting tricks as pretending to be in a beef with another comedian are not his thing because he, the famous king of comedy, doesn't need to draw extra attention to himself. Well, there's still a question why Steve decided against the battle with Katt Williams, and the comedian also has an answer for that. He proudly said that there was no need for him to even participate in such things because he shared the stage with some amazing comedians, and Katt should have some sense of respect when offering such things to a well-established person. Allegedly, Steve even said a few things about Katt's influence on comedy, as he wished the comedian to take care of his little career and be more humble when approaching the industry giants with his laughable propositions. When it came to that infamous show and Steve took the stage first, well, he stuck to his scenario and didn't mention a thing about Williams. However, this nobility didn't touch Katt, and as he appeared on the stage, he dissed Harvey publicly, roasting him in front of everyone. Please, give it up for Steve Harvey. He's one of the best we've ever had, but he don't want no parts of this in no shape or form. Steve later explained that he didn't have to prove anything to Katt or anyone else, and all this comedy battle drama and the championship of comedy was Williams' way to make himself a name. People didn't approve Steve chickening out, and for his utter disrespect and comments about Katt, he was roasted online. Well, this beef was just a sad beginning for Steve Harvey, as he was later dissed and exposed by many other people for his arrogance and toxic nature. And with the current comments about his wife's involvement into the drug dealing, plus his kids being truly disappointed in him as a fatherly figure, I guess Steve starts to realize that something went wrong the moment he decided to be disrespectful and mean with people. That confrontation with Katt plagues his mind until today, and it was one of the most serious beefs he had ever been in. Well, with the amount of displeased comments Harvey gets at the moment, maybe it's actually time for him to reconsider his past actions from the position of a grown-up man who himself has respect toward other human beings. As one person said, Steve has issues with literally everyone. There's something really disingenuous about him. And another fan added, Steve Harvey gets the award for the most unlike comic by all his peers. I can only add to this that Steve Harvey seems to lose his grip in the recent years, and with the coming avalanche of problems, he doesn't even know how to save his reputation, or maybe there's actually remorse budding inside him after all these years. And what do you reckon? Does Steve Harvey truly regret his beef with Katt Williams? Or is this all a part of his show? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about celebs who dislike the comedian. Apparently, Harvey got himself a huge circle of haters. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities,